All right, traders, we just had our 11th green day in a row. If you watched last night's video analysis, I had stated that we were looking for a gap down, a drop, and then we were interested in buying call options for a bullish recovery. Now, in terms of the levels that we were interested in buying, which was 441 and 440, they did not hit. So we ended up recognizing the bullish recovery early on. We also recognized it later on, and we took advantage of that bullish overall recovery trend that we were anticipating for. And we ended up buying call options multiple times towards $443.30, right towards the exact lows. I'm going to be sharing with you the trading strategy that we used to have such a successful green day today. But first things first, I'm going to walk you through the new trading plan, the new key levels, the new game plan heading into tomorrow. Because I'm telling you, what I'm seeing is going to be another lucrative trading day, and it is likely going to be our 12th green day in a row. So let's get straight into it. So in terms of Trader Society, we are absolutely crushing it. I'll be recapping the trades in the newly updated analysis that I posted in the chat today, teaching you the trading strategies. As you can see, our team is nearly all green. I want to give a big shout out to G-Roar for absolutely crushing calls with me today. He ended up doing SPX calls towards the close, making multiple 100% in just a few minutes. Now, in terms of our overall analysis, this is what I want to share with you. Based off of the daily pattern that I'm seeing, this is what I will be looking for tomorrow. I will be looking for a bullish move up. If it doesn't gap up, then I'll be waiting for a bullish move up. And what I'm going to be looking for is a nice gap up ideally, and then I will be focusing on put options. My main play for tomorrow is expected to be put options at key resistance levels that have not been tested. And in terms of calls, as of now, I am only interested in buying call options at our key oversold levels that have not been tested, which is at the 440 gap and the 441 support. Now, based off the daily pattern, what I'm seeing is a massive move up, a gap up, some sort of spike, whether it's in the morning or later on throughout the day, is going to be a gift to short the SPY for a bull trap at our key resistance levels. So, what are the key resistance levels? We have two key resistance levels. These are going to be both of the levels. What I want you to understand about these levels is they are okay. They're not 100% the best, but they are likely going to work out absolutely phenomenal with this daily pattern that I'm seeing. So if the SPY gets a nice move up tomorrow, whether it's in the morning or later throughout the day, I will be interested in buying put options and shorting the SPY for a nice bull trap where the SPY will try to close weak and it will try to sell off from these levels. These are the two levels that I have. The first one is going to be the lower one, 446.50. This is previous support that has nearly been retested, and it triggered a very nice sell-off once it cracked this 446.50 support. Now, our next level, which would be the true best level speaking for tomorrow, would be $447. $447 is key overall support, this 446.90 to 447. That's another zone where I'm very interested in shorting SPY and buying the put options. Now, in terms of call options, based off the pattern that I'm seeing for tomorrow, as of now, speaking in 1 day in advance, I am only interested in buying call options for a scalp against the overall trend at key oversold levels that have not been tested. So I shared with you my levels for puts, and in terms of calls, they remain the same, right? So in terms of the levels for calls, we're going to go back. I'm going to show it to you one more time very, very quickly. Then we're going to move on right here. It is going to be at $441. 441 is key support that has not been tested yet. Once the SPY decides it wants to go back to 441, it will likely bounce first, even if it does go lower, for a great opportunity to scalp calls. Our true best level for calls is going to be $440. This is an oversold gap where I'm very interested in playing for a gap close reversal on the SPY. That is the game plan for tomorrow. The two levels for calls, 440 and 441. The two levels for puts, 446.50 and the 447, right? That's the game plan. I gave you the overall best levels. That is what we're going to be waiting for, speaking in terms of this video that I'm posting, right? So what do we need to know from here? We need to know the price ladder. So what you need to understand about the price ladder is it's going to help give you a sense of direction. Based off the levels that I'm giving you in this price ladder, if one of the levels reacts as a bullish support level, it spikes up to the next level. If one of the levels reacts as a bearish resistance level, it spikes down to the next level. So let's go over the ladder for tomorrow. In terms of the top of the ladder, we're going to go with 447. That's the level that we're going with, 447. Next level under that is going to be 446.50. Next level below that is going to be $445. Next level under 445 is going to be 443.64. That is going to be the gap. This gap is towards the lower support level of the SPY. It's towards the lower level of the support zone, right? So you have key gap support at 443.60, right? Now, the next level under that is going to be $441. $441 will be our overall next level. And then below that, $440. Those will be our key price ladders for tomorrow. We are obviously interested in doing call options at the key levels that have not been tested yet. This level has already played out multiple times. We've been discussing the 442.70 support, which was literally the exact lows on the day. Everyone should have had a phenomenal green day on calls, especially with this confirmation, man. Look at this chart. You can't get a better confirmation than this. You have this green bullish sideways middle closing candle at the key support 442.70, and we've been discussing to potentially buy calls at 442.70. And then you have the same bullish candlestick, key middle support at 442.70 double bottom. This is a bullish confirmation to be buying calls, which is why I told my team today very, very early on when we were buying calls, and we also played calls literally right before the market closed towards the exact lows where SPX call options went up 300 to 400% in literally less than 10 minutes. Big shout out to G-Roar for absolutely crushing it. But we led overall right direction on the day. There's a reason why now we have 11 green days in a row. There's a reason why our polls are maintaining a 95% success rate throughout these past 11 trading days. And there's a reason why the key levels and analysis is so on point. I led direction perfectly today. In terms of the pattern was, I see on the daily chart, SPY will try to gap down and drop first, which it did. It did not hit our key oversold levels where we were interested in buying. But guess what? We still ended up buying calls towards the exact lows because we recognized the overall 30-minute bullish pattern, right? So we took advantage of that. I also played the price ladder in yesterday's video. Like I said, if 443 reacts to support, we're going to be spiking to 445, which we did because it reacted as support with the bullish 30-minute confirmations. And then my update at 11 a.m., I've seen this pattern before. I'll be avoiding put options for the entire day, right? And, unfortunately, SPY is not at our key levels for calls. If you want to follow the bullish uptrend, you're going to want to wait for breaks above resistance. And then once it drops back down to those previous resistance, we buy the dip because that previous resistance is supposed to react to support because SPY had a nice breakout. That's how you take advantage of that. One of our key levels was 442.80 for calls. Unfortunately, that did not hit. The SPY will try to bounce at 442.80 once again before it goes lower, and then it'll try to sell off. That's just what it's going to do. There's a little gap that's still waiting to fill there, so I'll keep an eye on it, but super tight stop loss. I know it's not 100% the best. And then 443.90 is the new best key level for calls. I ended up playing that, and then it dropped. I added, made very, very nice profit on that, made $3,000 profit on that. And then I ended up playing calls right before the close right here. I literally went extremely heavy. You could see right here at 3:31 p.m., I was buying calls literally towards the exact low. We kept on alerting calls. We kept on buying calls. I told my team SPY is going to be closing at 444. It literally hit 443.70. It missed it by like 30 cents. I was buying calls right here towards the exact bottom. And when this was consolidating and holding at the key support, at the key lows, I was telling my team, this is so bullish. They cannot crack support. It is no choice but to spike, and it's going to go super bullish. G-Roar ended up buying those calls towards the exact low on SPX, and they went up over 300% in literally 5 minutes. If you watch the SPX call option chain, if you bought the SPX call options right here towards the low of this small 40%, this small 40-cent spike here within 5 minutes, the SPX calls went up over 300%. Absolutely insane play of such a small move that people sleep on, right? So we were bottom taking calls multiple times at the exact lows today. The team was green, and we absolutely crushed it. And, if I have that expectation that SPY is going to drop first, which it did, SPY did drop first like we were planning to. And like I told you guys, it's going to then try to have a bullish recovery. It didn't hit our key levels for calls. So I adapt and I identify key levels for calls, and we were able to do that using the 30-minute chart. This right here is a very bullish 30-minute candlestick. You can just visually see right here. This is what led me to be so bullish on the day. This is a very bullish 30-minute green candlestick that triggered a very nice uptrend throughout the day. And whenever it dropped back down, it kept bottoming at the previous resistance in the key support levels. So what I noticed, the same candlestick right here formed at the same previous support where the bears got absolutely destroyed. I told myself, this is very, very bullish. SPY is going to try to retest the high of these wicks and to avoid puts for the rest of the day. And then shortly enough, when the SPY decides it wants to sell off, it forms a bearish 30-minute red candle. Then it starts to sell off. I didn't want puts because I was bullish on the overall day for a decent close, which is what ended up happening. So I then decided to buy my calls at the previous resistance levels. The previous resistance levels were right here towards the closing price and high of these wicks. When the SPY was forming bullish 30-minute candlesticks, when the SPY was hitting that previous resistance levels, I told myself I'm going to buy calls because that pattern that I pointed out in yesterday's video was proven to consistently repeat itself. And you could just visually see, if you studied the pattern, the same exact pattern happened. This right here was your previous resistance where the 30-minute candle closed bullish. It broke above. And then what was the bottom when it started to drop after it formed the first bearish red 30-minute? The bottom was right here. The bottom is at the previous tops. The bottom is at the previous closing of these 30-minute levels after it had the breakout. So that's where you buy. And then the same thing happened right here. You could see this, the previous closing of these 30-minute candles. It had a nice breakout. So then it starts to go bearish when the 30-minute flips red. And then they're going to try to bottom this, right, at the previous closing of the 30 minutes, which is why I kept screaming to buy calls when it was at 443.30, to buy calls, to buy calls, to buy calls. Big shout out to the chat. We absolutely crushed it. Those were the trading, those were the candlestick trading strategies that we ended up using to profit, along with the price ladder in my video, which said 443 to 445 if 443 reacts to support. So if you didn't identify that the SPY formed the same bullish 30-minute candlestick right here at the same price at the double bottom for 442.80 with very, very nice upside to 445 quickly. If you didn't see that, you are absolutely blind and there is no hope for you. I'm going to be very blunt about that. If you didn't see that it's at the same price, forming the same 30-minute candlestick, right? If you didn't see that, you're absolutely blind. And if you didn't have the awareness to identify, oh, wow, it's going bullish, it's going to try to flip bearish now, 30-minute red, just like it did right here. It tries to flip bearish now, 30-minute red. If you didn't have the awareness to see that, it's going to try to bottom at the previous resistance level where the bears got trapped, which was right here towards like 443.50. There is no hope. If you didn't see anything that I just mentioned, I would strongly recommend just getting the Discord right now because we saw all this before it happened and we absolutely crushed it today. So with that being said, that's my overall game plan for tomorrow. We will continue to crush it and I will try my best to have my 12th green day in a row. If you do want to join Trader Society, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. Everything in terms of what you get access to and what is included is in that first link below in the description. It is a one-time fee. It is a lifetime access. If you want to know what you're going to be getting, you're going to be getting results. That's what you're going to be getting. What we do is we make people money. We know exactly where to get in. We know exactly where to get out. We scalp quickly like snipers. And you will be amazed by the network and the community that we have built up with the information and the resources that we have and the trading strategies and the price action that we have. I'm telling you, keep your eyes on G-Roar. He is absolutely crushing it, man. This guy was hitting SPX calls for 300% within 5 single minutes. Pay attention to G-Roar. He's the best day trader within the chat. I'm a scalper. I get in, I get out very, very quickly. He has a different trading strategy where he holds his day trades for a longer period of time and he goes further out of the money. And when it works, he's making multiple 100%. When it doesn't work, he's losing like 50%. So if he loses 50% on 3 trades in a row, which like never happens for him, but say it happens, right? He just lost 150%. He'll hit a trade and it makes 200%, 300%. He makes it all back and more, man. His percentage gains are outweighing any loss that he has, and his win rate is over 85%. He's the best day trader that I've seen. So if you want to surround yourself with the right network whose expertise is in trading SPY, and we have mastered SPY to an exact T, it is going to be the first link down below in the description if you are serious in terms of working with us. We will see you in the chat tomorrow. We will absolutely continue to crush it based off the trading plans, the key levels, the price action, and the candlestick strategies that we use to profit off of price action. That is what we have mastered. If you want to learn how to master price action, which is what changed my life, price action and being around the right network, those two things, it's the first link down below in the description. I will see you then.